Adjust it. Make it the light. Anyway, 1 hour both time. Sorry, I'm blocking out the cup. No. Have you? Jesus.
Hi, Talia. How are you?
Good morning.
Hi, how are you?
I'm pretty good. How's everybody?
Yes, we're doing well. I'm doing well. How is everybody else?
Good morning, doing well on this side.
Okay. All right, so I see Aikiba joined us very early. Aikiba, can you rejoin later? IG, let me see if I can call her. Okay, so I know that we have one person who is here a little early, but I can't get her. So let's just go quickly through if there are any questions. Please introduce yourself when we start. Remember, the time is tight. We will start with alphabetically. There are some countries here we'll mention because they couldn't make it, and myself and Chaz will mention the count. 1 second.
This looks.
All right. I think she's gonna jump out. She just called. Okay, so we're going to just go through alphabetically, and we'll start with Anguilla, who just joined. So we'll just introduce them, and then we'll go through and try to use the questions are kind of guide. Use your 2-3 minutes to just say what you want about this awesome experience that you've had. And don't forget, say a little about who you are, your role in the project or your professional role or whatever. And then you wrap up, of course, with the number of trees planted. So we're going to try and move very seamlessly through that. And then Chaz is not yet here. He should be on shortly. We'll talk a little with the tree planted ambassadors. Then we go right into an announcement of this relationship we'll have with Alba of Denmark. Mary from Trees That Feed Foundation will speak, and then we wrap up. So we're really wanting to try and get all of this done in an hour.
Hi, everyone.
Hi.
Is this Andrea? Who is that?
Yes, it's me.
Oh, okay.
Hi,
All right.
Andrea.
Great. I saw last guy, I wasn't sure it was you. Okay, great. All right. So we were just going through, Andrea, the run. I don't see Chaz, but Chaz, I don't know if he liaised with you, Andrea, on music, but we're gonna do some setup music while we wait. I was hoping we can go into a breakout room. Can you take us all into a breakout room so we can talk in case people start coming? Andrea?
Yes,
Or,
hang on. Let me try. I never did it before. Create
oh,
one breakout room.
Yeah.
this is just a breakout room that we can all just huddle so that if persons start to come on, you know who to let into the room. So if persons come, we just had one person who I happen to know, and I asked her to come to leave and come back, and hopefully she will. If you can get us there, fine. If not, so I don't know if there are any questions anyone has, but basically just follow. All right, so she's inviting us all to join room 1. So you just press join. Everybody should see that.
Oh, sorry, I moved you to the room 2.
Sorry,
I don't know what happened. Try to go to the breakout rooms.
okay.
Because right now,
in progress.
Nosotros para nuestra
a champion, Serena a champion, Wendy a champion, Shelly and a champion, 958 Bolt a champion. Champion, 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 champion. Everybody knows it, Bravo a champion, 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 champion. Everybody knows Chris Cale is a champion. Still a champion, champion.
Wow, we are all champions. Welcome to our milestone announcement event. I am Rosalie Hamilton, Chair of the Caribbean Philanthropic Alliance, and I'm going to co-host this event with Chaz Garraway. Chaz is our youth leader.
Good afternoon, everyone. Dr. Hamilton, I'm happy to be here with you and all of the other leaders from around the region, all of the champions who have helped us to get to this point. I'm sure, like me, you've been thinking about this day, being able to come to the completion of this project. And so I'm happy to be here and to lead this event with you.
Well, I must tell you, I don't know what you guys do in Bahamas, but it's in Jamaica when we celebrate, we find a Dutch pot and we, right? So I am going to be celebrating. So I invite all our listeners to bring out all your musical whatever and make sure that we create some noise. All right. So Mary, I hope you have your Dutch pot and your pan cover. All right. So we're going to jump into it because we have a long list of countries who decided that they wanted to partner in the Caribbean tree planting project to plant trees across the region. And what was our target, Chaz?
I think it was 1 million
Really?
trees.
1 million? That's very ambitious. Did we get there?
I guess we'll see by the end of today.
All right. Well, we did plan to do 1 million trees we started in February 2020 to last month, May 2021. In fact, we wanted to announce on June 5th, World Environment Day. We had some challenges, and so we're here today. So we're going to hear from each country, reps from all the countries involved. Some can't make it, and so we'll do the announcements for them. And you'll get a good feel for what we've done during this year. I want to kick off with Anguilla. Now, Anguilla is one of our new members. It's led by, the team there is led by Neil Gomes. He's a youth leader. And they are planning to plant up a storm, but they have not yet started. Thanks to COVID, it's been really a problem, but we expect that by the end of next year, they will be fully on board. Next we have.
So next up, we have Antigua and Barbuda. And just as they were the first country to kick off our project early last year, they will be the first to speak today. And even though Lyle, who was the person who's really kicked it off for Antigua, we have Laverne David, who has also been very integral in the project in Antigua. And so Laverne, I'd just like to I would like you to introduce yourself and tell me about some of the things that you guys were doing in Antigua.
Laverne, you need to unmute. All right, so let's come back to Laverne. We have Bahamas next. Now, the Bahamas team is led by Melissa Ingram, and Melissa has been creating a storm in Bahamas. Melissa, are you here?
Hi, yes, I am.
Great. Let's hear
Hi, how
what
are
you've been up to.
Thank you. Thanks for having me. So yes, here in the Bahamas towards the Caribbean Tree Planting Project, I was the national leader, which officially ended last week, Saturday. But we were aiming for 100,000 trees, the Bahamas 100-day tree planting initiative. We, focused on terrestrial and coastal trees, making sure all environmental aspects were included. Mostly native trees, native Bahamian trees was the focus so that we can educate and raise awareness on their importance here in the Bahamas. The Bahamas is a chain of islands. We have over 700 islands and keys. So we did also strive to connect with other family islands. So we worked with a total of 8 islands, and we as a team were able to grow, produce, and distribute over 3,600 trees. So
Wow.
3,600 trees. It was a year of collection activities, collecting seeds, collecting seedlings, having potting activities, gathering soil, giving trees away in tree giveaways, and etc. We did a good amount, and I'm very, very proud of our team, what we were able to accomplish in partnership with the Bahamas Forestry Unit. They definitely acted as guidance from the beginning straight through to the end. And it was just a great partnership collectively. All of our trees were planted in generally public areas, schoolyards, church yards, parks, individual residences, etc. And we had some challenges. I'm sure we all faced challenges, especially with COVID-19. But mainly just the social distancing aspect is where the challenges came. Having limited persons, limited interactions, and having to have that distance, sanitization, etc. throughout the activities, but we made it work. Sorry, can you guys hear me?
Yes, you can.
Okay. Yes, you can. Yeah, and I would say the most rewarding part of the whole experience would have been, the learning, the growth behind it, the networking, and of course, climate action. Taking climate action. Seeing the trees that we distributed and planted in different places. So it was really
Melissa, we're getting
support.
Melissa?
Hey.
We're getting some feed. Okay.
Is that for me?
I
Yes.
think it's cleared up now.
Okay.
So we know we had these challenges. Tell us about the most exciting moment for you.
Yeah, so the last, I guess, most exciting thing that we've done, I would say as a whole, just collectively, what was learned from the overall project, growing all of these different plants, learning about the plants themselves and the whole process of growing, networking with all of the different persons that we were working with, different agencies, different individuals, a lot of volunteers. It was just completely rewarding in itself. And then also seeing the trees that we were working with being planted in all of these different places, it was just super exciting.
Great. And what's your overall count for Bahamas?
So the most recent count was actually done on June 5th, the end of the activity. We finished with a tree giveaway. And we are now at 120,490 plants documented and country is planted.
Wow, congratulations.
Thank you.
All right, good. All right, so we're gonna move on to the next country.
So the next country on our list is Barbados. And here to talk about the tree planting project in Barbados, we will have Dr. Sonia Peter. Would you please like to introduce yourself, Ms. Peters, and talk about what has been going on in Barbados for us?
Thank you very much for that introduction. And we are extremely happy to be partnering with the Caribbean Tree Planting Project. I'm here representing a full team. We have as team leader of the project, Barney Gibbs, who is with the Future Center Trust. I am director of the nonprofit Biocultural Education and Research Program. And like the Tree Project, we're all working in terms of promoting the importance of conserving our green resources and interfacing with the public. I don't want to start with challenges, but I will tell you what our main focus has been. We have been working with our government that has a plan of planting 1 million trees on island. It sounds like a big target, but it is achievable if we all work together. So the Tree Planting Project has been working with the government to get to some of those targets. And the exciting project that we're focusing on is a fantastic trailway that has been designed to have tree groves and pathways for biking, running, and community involvement. The tree groves will have shade trees and fruit trees. We'll have programs going into the community coming out to the pathways. We're going to have workshops, we're going to have events. And we're very excited about putting our focus along this trailway project. So I'll keep the number of trees that we have been engaging with to the end, but there's been a hive of activity in terms of getting those plants ready to be put in place. And well, of course, COVID has really been a problem for all of us in terms of getting out into the field. And then we were also impacted, of course, by the eruption of the Soufriere volcano. But we have had really good collaboration. Many volunteers have contributed their expertise, labor and materials in getting a piloted section of the trailway in place. And we're happy that that is there. And challenges, you know, in terms of getting the funding to complete the trailway, because it's a really exciting design. And we hope to have that launch and share that with the tree planting project. So we're now ramping up in terms of our fundraising program, our outreach, so that we can get those tree planting commitments. In terms of what has been most exciting for me, it's always about public engagement and at the youth level and the community level. And most recently, team leader Barney Gibbs had a tour of the tree planting project with the Boy Scouts. And for me, there's nothing more precious than interfacing with those young minds as we arm them to go into the future and demonstrate what sustainable living is going to be as we embrace our green resources. So like Bahamas, it's the whole experience, and interfacing with the youth for me is a very precious moment. In terms of the tree output, we've got approximately 9,000 plants, growing at our nurseries and in ground, including a 6-acre plot that has 650 grafted mango plants growing, because we think it's important to have the trailway project lined with both shade and fruit trees, because we want to get that community involvement and investment in conservation of the project.
Well, thank you very much, Dr. Peter. Can we get a round of applause, bang a pot, whatever you have for Barbados for their 9,000 trees. We thank you and your team and everybody in Barbados for helping us to reach the milestone that we will announce later today.
Thank you so much.
Thank you. Over to you, Dr. Hamilton.
Yeah, congrats. That's great. And I love the idea that the young people are involved. This really is about the future of the young people in the Caribbean, so, and across the world, of course. We're going to move on now to the Bay Islands of Honduras. So many of you may not have heard much about the Bay Islands of Honduras, but they're very much part of the Caribbean. And I'd love Dean Milverton to tell us more about what you've been doing in the Bay Islands. Dean?
Yeah, hello to everyone, and thanks for all the great work everyone's been doing across the region. My name is Dean Milverton. I'm based in Roatan in the Bay Islands of Honduras, where we run a community-based project called Support Roatan. Over the past few months, we've been actively planting fruit trees with local communities, everything from soursops, guavas to mangoes and breadfruit. We're also working with local nurseries to propagate more fruit trees on the island, as most of our trees at the moment are being transported in from the mainland of Honduras. One of our main partners, the Bay Islands Conservation Association, has been actively working with us as well. They mainly plant mangroves for coastal protection. So there's been a bit going on. One of our main challenges has been that we're new at this. We basically started focusing on fruit tree planting last year during COVID, which has been difficult for all of us in many ways. We started the project or started planting fruit trees as a way to address local food security, to try to diversify the local economy with alternative incomes, as 75% of, or well, let's say 75 to 80% of our workforce in the islands, when tourism stopped, were out of jobs. And of course, we're planting trees to address the environmental issues. As I said, for us just being new, it takes a little bit of time to gain some traction. It's helped us a lot being part of this organization. It gives a little bit more credibility and shows that we're a little bit bigger than just our small project in the Bay Islands of Honduras. The most exciting experience has basically just been seeing it all come together. We're finding more and more people, groups and organizations that are working on similar projects to ours. And I guess as islands, we're all kind of facing similar issues as well. And I guess a big positive is it's great to see that if people, groups, countries, and even here as a region, if we can actually all come together, we actually can create real change, and real change on the ground. Real change at a grassroots level, real change where it actually counts. To date, with our partners in the Bay Islands, we've planted 2,899 trees. We have a fair bit planned for the end of the year, so hopefully that number or our numbers will continue to grow. Thanks to everyone again involved in the project. As I said, it's great to see so many people getting behind this concept and idea. And I look forward to the rest of the announcements today. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Dean. Wonderful. Give him a round of applause there. Great. Good, good, good. Virtual clap. All right. So let's move on now to Belize.
So for Belize, we have John Aruna, who is an architect and project manager, but I guess most importantly for us, a tree enthusiast who has been taking Belize by storm with planting trees. And John, you could take it away and tell us what you've been doing in Belize.
Good morning, everybody. It's a pleasure to be here. Greetings to all my brothers and sisters across the Caribbean and around the world. Belize got involved a bit late. We started around November, December of last year, and we have a small group, but hopefully we have made up for it with our enthusiasm and zeal. We have been planting here. We have been planting mangoes, coconut, breadfruit, and some citrus. We try to spread it across the country. We have six districts here, and we have distributed some of the plants throughout the districts. But weather-wise, the south of Belize has more rain at this point in time. So in the south, more planting has been done. Our angle that we took with it was more related to food security. And so we are looking to improve the genetics that we have in country and trying to extend the seasons. For example, the mango season is about 6 months. We believe with genetics, we could extend it to 10 months if we get the right variety of plants. Same thing with breadfruit. And it's a work in progress where we are learning how to manage the small plants. We are learning the challenges with importation. And some of the things we foresee is the need for us to get the technology and equipment for processing, because in 3 to 5 years, we expect to have quite a bit more fruits to harvest. And so we don't want the fruit to rot. We don't want the fruit to be lost. So we need the technology for processing, hopefully with solar or some other technology where we reduce the impact or climate footprint. One of the best days for us was the 13th of February, Saturday, the 13th of February, when we received 500 breadfruit plants. And I would like to publicly thank Trees That Feed and Mary for that contribution. We have distributed some of those. Some were lost because of the the type that we brought in, which was tissue culture, and that takes a different level of management. But some have survived, and so we have the Mafala variety here in Belize. And so we will be making copies of those and distributing those in the near future. So the number we have planted is 4,503 plants. That has been our contribution to this effort. And we appreciate the opportunity to participate. Thank you.
Thank you, John. Thank you, and all of your team in Belize.
Wonderful, John, you did a great job there. We're going to move now to Cayman Islands, and I want to especially invite two young ladies who's really taken their country by storm and got the attention of the government. I'd love to introduce to you Yasmin Ellis and Marley Smith, and they're both from the Cayman Islands.
Hey, I'm Marley, and this is Yasmin. And we've mostly been focusing on planting food-producing trees, native trees such as red birch trees and mahogany trees, and then also mangroves to help protect our coastlines. So we first started with partnering with different schools, such as Cayman International School, and we did tree planting events where we would educate the primary kids on the importance of planting trees and also climate change. We've also done many social media campaigns to try and educate others on similar topics. And also, as she mentioned, got the attention of our government, and we've been having a couple meetings with them, which brings us to our main challenge, which has been to keep everyone on our plans. So we've had a couple plans fall through with different firms, but we're looking to get those back running this summer.
I think it's been more slow moving for us because Cayman developed so quickly. So we've been focusing a lot more on protection. So we did an event where a local landowner was selling his land to be cleared and developed on, and he invited us to come down, and we're able to save 85 plus native trees and replant them elsewhere and give them away for people to plant at their homes. So a lot of protection has been done, as well as working with the mangrove rangers. But yeah, it's been really nice to be involved in this project. We have a lot of upcoming ideas for the rest of summer and next year.
And the number of trees planted is 475.
Fabulous. I must say, I am so impressed with you. And ladies and gentlemen, these are teenagers. Yes? Teenagers, ladies. Amazing that you've gotten your government to really, and this is something that we want to do, make sure that all the countries across the region have policies on tree planting. So you're really trailblazers. Thank you so much for the work you've done. All right, moving on to Dominica.
So for Dominica, unfortunately, we do not have anyone joining us today, but in Dominica, Francisco Maffey and Amika Cognat have been, they're from the forestry department in Dominica, but they have been leading the project here, in Dominica, and they have planted about 31,000 trees over the course of the project. So that must be recognized. And over to you, Prof, to the next country.
All right, so Dominican Republic is not able to be here as well. And we had a lot of excitement there from Anselmo Ucita and Altair Rodriguez, as well as Anethea Castillo Sosa. And Anethea is a tree planting ambassador, and she's joined us in a couple of activities that we've had. So I want to just say that they've been planting, and they contributed 1,400 trees to the Caribbean tree planting projects. And a lot of that was through the work of Trees That Feed Foundation. We're going to hear about Trees That Feed Foundation later, but they did quite a bit of work in Dominican Republic. Over to you, Charles.
Our next country is Grenada, and they are unable to be with us today, but Tyrone Buckmere, who is the founder of the Fund for Conservation in Grenada. He was leading the project in Grenada, and they have planted 1,215 trees. So congratulations to them, and over to the next country.
Okay, so Guyana is the next country. And, you know, Guyana started with a very enthusiastic CARICOM youth ambassador, Vishal Joseph, and he moved on to become a medical doctor. And we have not been able to get more activities going in Guyana. They're still pulling a team together there. And so we await their activities. And of course, because of all of that, they weren't able to plant any trees. Our next country is Haiti. And I'm really excited to introduce to you Timothy Georges. He's the executive director of Smallholders Farmers Alliance. And he will tell you about the fabulous work that Haiti has been doing. Timothy?
Hi, everyone. And thank you for having me here. So I'm working with the Smallholder Farmers Alliance in Haiti as the country director. So our operation in Haiti is a farmer-owned operation, in which the farmers volunteer to grow the saplings, prepare the tree planting site, and plant the trees and look after them. So for being so responsible for engaging in this way in our tree planting efforts, they receive an agricultural service as a permit. So this agricultural service includes better quality of agricultural seeds, donation of tools, technical assistance in the field, and some other service like microcredit for women in our project area. So basically we plant fruit and forest trees. Right now we are planting a forest of about 10 acres in Haiti. So we use other agroforestry technologies like silvopastoralism, agro-silvopastoralism, and silviculture to plant most of our trees. We, as a challenge, I think naturally we have some challenge like the change and the rainy patterns, the free grazing, and the pandemic that broke in the country last year. And this prevent group meeting, and also we change our program schedule a little bit to face the situation, which was fine. So from February 2020 to today, we've been planted close to 700,000 trees, forest and food trees in the country.
Wonderful. Congratulations. We really are excited about the work that you've done and really look forward to continued collaboration with you. Over to you, Chaz.
Thank you.
Thanks. So next up on our list, we have Jamaica. And so Jamaica has an interesting story because they started slow out of the gates, but as time went on, they really stepped into high gear, and they ended up being the country with the second most trees. So their effort is very commendable. And to speak about the efforts in Jamaica, we'll have Danielle Thompson, who's been very active. She's a youth leader in Jamaica, and she does a lot of work around environmental issues and projects. And so over to you, Danielle. I think she's disconnected.
Okay, I wonder if we should.
She's here. Danielle?
Hi guys, can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you. I just introduced you to speak about Jamaica.
All right, it looks like we're having some connection. So let's get back to Jamaica later. Let's bring St. Kitts and Nevis into the picture. They have an exciting development taking place there through their forestry department. They're actively involved. Pierre Lidbour and also Curtis. She has been doing a wonderful job, Curtis Clark. And so both of them have been doing work in the forestry department. Their numbers, however, have not yet come in. And so we can't report numbers for St. Kitts and Nevis. So we will update that later. And so let's move on now to Puerto Rico.
So for Puerto Rico, we will have Julian Rosado, who will be talking about what's happening there.
Hello, hi, I'm replacing Julian. My name is Ahmed Perez. A pleasure to be here. In Puerto Rico, we're having a mass reforestation with our organization Para Naturaleza. Right now, we have planted almost 51,000 trees, and we have donated 33,000 trees. So that's that's part of our goals of reforesting the island after we were impacted by the Hurricane Irma Maria. Our biggest challenge right now is the COVID, and also that part of our activities we involve volunteers. So because of COVID, our volunteer network was a little bit stopped, and right now we are getting track again with the opening of the island and to having activities in which we can involve the public. I think that part of our great experience is that people are eager to go outside and plant and have experience with nature. I think that all this closure in our island was a big lesson to be learned, that how we need to be in contact with the nature and how important it is for us as a society. So that's basically, and be a pleasure to be here and presenting Puerto Rico.
Thanks, Ahmed. And one last question. How many trees did you guys plant?
Well, we planted 51,000 trees, and we have donated 33,000 trees.
Wow, thank you for your contribution. And we appreciate you guys working with us. For our next country, Dr. Hamilton.
The next one is St. Lucia. So I know you did some work with the CARICOM Youth Ambassador there, McAllister Hunt. What happened there?
Right. So with St. Lucia, they were able to they started to get going early on in 2020, but with the COVID pandemic and that really slowed down their team, and they were unable to. McAllister was a CARICOM ambassador, and so his term finished, and they were really unable to fill that void. So they weren't able to plant any trees, but they tried their best to contribute.
COVID did some toll on us, did some serious punches. That was one of them, and I know he's still actively engaged, but trees in the ground, not yet. St. Martin, also another country that has been struggling, but I want to say that we have a parliamentarian actively involved, and she's Ludmilla Duncan, and she's in the Parliament of St. Martin, and they're working quietly, reorganizing, wanting to make sure there's a tree planting policy. She's a new member of Parliament, so she's getting her feet wet, and in spite of all the difficulties she's had, they've done 100 trees. So we're really happy that we got 100 from St. Martin. Suriname?
So next up is Suriname. And in Suriname, their team is led by Renier, who has been very vocal, very active, very energetic, and is always happy to show the trees and the seedlings and everything that he's been planting. And so Renier, take it away and talk about Suriname and everything that you and your team have been doing.
Okay. Thank you, Chas. Hi, Prof. Hi, everybody. I am Remy Taus, lead coordinator CTPP Suriname, also representing the chief coordinator ACTA Caribbean, Mr. Jatu Green, because we also have farmers on board planting trees. Well, the first question, activities, what are we doing? We started our kickoff online meeting in the end of March 22, aiming to plant 100,000 trees on national level. We started mobilizing, and the first person was Remy Oma Persad from Saramaka with an interesting planting of 100 coconut trees from a variety of Thailand, because this gives up a content. This gives a content of 1.5 liters coconut water. Further, we have Miss Alice Van Sowers, was the first person in Suriname in our team, succeeded in planting trees at basic schools in Saramaka, Sidorejo. She planted interesting trees like Walaba, Green Heart, Yellow Powi, mahogany trees, and so on, cherries, and so on. Regarding our structure, we made an interesting structure for CTPP Suriname to move forward with 5 committees, each committee having its own authority as head. E.g., we have committee public awareness, social media, we have committee youth involvement, and so on. We are lucky to have Mr. Ryan Bergen on board, who is working at media. Professor Naveen Kedu was the first one to plant fruit trees at children's homes in Nikeri, mango, citrus, olives. Professor Mai Pao is the key person in Suriname planting coastal trees, mangrove. Our youth leader, Ms. Geneva Becker, organized a successful online climate awareness workshop for youth aging 12 to 18 years. Mr. Anil Padarat, the president of the Chamber of Commerce, hosted this Zoom meeting. Second question, what were the major challenges what you face? I listed 3. Number 1, of course, COVID-19. Giving organizational challenges, bringing teams together. The necessary lockdowns is blocking our speed. Second, maintain and monitor the small plants to adult trees, also a challenge for us. Thirdly, the finance pictures, of course, in every activity, money is looking there on the corner. So, and this knocking money on our door is getting, okay, let's bring some problems. Okay, but what is the finance picture in this process? People, organizations, public places have preferences for the type of tree they want to plant. So we need money to buy that for them. And also we are facing expenses of transport costs. So we have to solve that also. The third question the professor asked me is, tell about your most exciting experience. Well, I listed 3. Number 1, Earth Day 2021, just back in our back. We planted very wide from the east to the west, from Comoena district via Leiding, Wanica to Nikeri. We planted trees. Well, I want to applaud Ms. Ratna Kewal, who planted about 70 fruit trees in Comoena with many youths, I will repeat that, at schools, retirement centers, and medical center. Well, we are proud that the district commissioner, so we were able to bring high authority on board. From the last district, Wanica was present at the planting at the school at Leiding. Ms. Suraksa Hirasing, organized again by a youth, Ms. Arvind Murli. And we were able to drink and eat with the assistance of Mr. Iwan Hasnul. So we made it really as a celebration. And then I have the second one, our physical launch at Harisun Spot, District Saramaka, with sponsoring of Trees That Feed Foundation. There we go. with $1,000 yet, not 1,000 Suriname dollars, 1,000 US. We bought trees from Ash Nursery. This was also a celebration because I asked the Ash Nursery to bring drinks, cakes, and so on, and she did it. So we make a nice day of it. Thirdly, yes, and that is the professor always is knocking on our doors, and we succeed in Suriname in a kind of way. We doubled our youth from 10 to 24. There we go, Prof. The fourth question, how many trees were planted? Well, through all this stress and all the tensions, we succeeded to plant about 6,000 trees. And I want to make, Prof, with your permission, 2 final remarks. Firstly, I heartily thank my dynamic CTPP team in Suriname. Well, guys, ladies, gentlemen, you are doing a great job up to now. I applaud for you. Secondly, we now are knocking on the doors of the ministers of agriculture and the First Lady to come on board. I hope our excellencies can value our planting and awareness dynamics in Suriname for Suriname. Thank you.
Wonderful.
I have a tree on my shoulder. I have a small tree on my shoulder here.
Yes. He is so sweet. Thank you so much, Renier. All right, we're going to move on quickly to Trinidad and Tobago. Talia Mohammed, the Trinidadians and Tobagonians have been doing a tremendous job. So Talia, tell us what you've been doing.
Hi, everyone. Thank you all so much for having this event, and congratulations thus far. And to everyone who has been doing such a phenomenal job on the ground, getting trees in the ground and all the engagement. I'm very excited to be part of this. So I'm Talia Mohammed. I am the project coordinator and I'm representative of Bridge Foundation, Trinidad and Tobago. And we have had, notwithstanding the pandemic, we have had a lot to still be happy and report on. We have been doing a job in terms of more education, given the limitations we have been having on the ground here in Trinidad, with 2 states of emergencies. We're currently in one and had one last year. So we have engaged 52 primary school children under the age of 12 and 30 teenagers to 35 years of age. About 15 of them are intrinsically part of the Caribbean Tree Planting Project in Trinidad and Tobago. Our entire team is made up of partnerships here with, I would really like to note all, but I know time is limited. We do have some strong members in terms of Environment Tobago, taking charge in Tobago to get trees in the ground, and they have been doing so even from before the project with rehabilitation of mangroves in that area. We have Carbon Zero TT. Carbon Zero is quite a dynamic project as well too, and I will get into one of our most exciting events with them further on. We have the Green Market, Trinidad and Tobago. We have SUSTRUST, which is Trust for Sustainable Development. We have Omadat Miraj and Raul Bermudez, who spearhead a project called breadfruittrees.com in Trinidad and Tobago. We have the 4-H agriculture clubs, which we aim to do more with as schools reopen to get more trees on the ground. We have some young groups, the Biological Society of Trinidad and Tobago, Central Pathfinders, TROD 868. So our group is made up of NGOs on the ground here. We have done some work to try and communicate with more public sector entities, and we're still working on that. So that is a challenge as well. And we have had approximately, I would say, another challenge is, of course, something similar to Rania mentioned as well, to getting some more corporate social responsibility partners. But one of our main donors was Atlantic LNG, which is a strong entity on the ground here. We're hoping to go back to them and also reach out to some other corporate social responsibility type of avenues to sequester some more resources. And other than that, notwithstanding COVID-19, I think just the challenge of more group participation. And in Trinidad and Tobago, our focus has been food security as well. So the education we've been doing at a number of online forums has been on food security, as well as teaching on the Sustainable Development Goals with focus on 2, which is zero hunger, and of course 13, which is climate action. So in trying to create these links, both in our communication and advocacy and education efforts, and also within our team, to get everyone to understand that we're kind of doing the same work and let's collaborate more effectively. So that's been our role, especially from the Bridge Foundation leadership point of view. And our most exciting experience thus far has been our World Forest Day event, where through a number of partnerships that I already mentioned and Carbon Zero spearheading a food forest type of initiative where we created a food forest in that day with the Exchange Farmers Association in Couva. And it was quite phenomenal. We had New Iron came out, which is a energy sector entity, and a number of other groups that Carbon Zero brought in, like Polytech, and we were able to accomplish about 120 trees. Another challenge, as I say that, is of course monitoring. So we want to make sure that the trees we're putting in the ground survive. And something that Hugh mentioned as well too, we have to be prepared for when these food trees come to fruition, that we have something to do with the produce and fruits and food coming off of it. So those are some challenges that I note. And the exciting experience was just being part of that event, because we had this limited window of opening and we had more than 100 people in and out of that venue that day. And it was quite exciting to see so many different people coming together, not staying the whole day, but moving in and out of the site and getting trees on the ground. The number of trees we have had so far, it's 1,197. And that has a lot to do with the contribution of Raul Bermudez and Omadat Maraj and their breadfruit tree giveaways that they do. They contribute trees to families, and they take lead in terms of getting that process done, delivering of the trees. And our other planting has been more with these primary schools. And as I mentioned, we're hoping to get more of that done. And we look forward to the place opening up some more, hopefully for Caribbean Tree Planting Week, and whereby we would be able to get more trees in the ground and have more collaborations growing and get more attraction from and attention from the public sector entities such as the Ministry of Agriculture, Planning and Forestry. And I just want to mention here that I really need to thank all the NGOs that have been on the ground supporting us here, all the young people, and of course, the team lead and country lead from Bridge Foundation, Luke and Nikolai from Biological Society, and now they're on their own. They have graduated university and they're on their own. So they'll be moving on to new things. Christian Zakor, Mariella Brown, Sean McCoon, of course, from Environment Tobago, has been taking a lot of lead, and he's supported the education drive that we've been doing. And Daniel Isles from Sustrust, and a number of young people who have been giving a lot of time and effort to making sure that we are successful on the ground here in Trinidad. Thank you all.
Wonderful. Thank you so much, Talia. All right, we're running out of time, so we're going to move quickly now to Turks and Caicos. And we have a new member, and he is Wilbert Mason, Managing Director of Ocean Clubs Resorts. And they're so new, they came on just a few months ago, haven't started planting as yet. But we have a special person here. someone from St. Vincent and the Grenadines, who the very day the volcano erupted, the morning, we got a report of her tree planting efforts. So I want Stina Herberg to tell us about what happened in St. Vincent and the Grenadines.
Thank you very much. Well, we are new to the CTPP initiative. It's a beautiful initiative. So the Richmond Vale Academy is an agroforestry, permaculture, ecological farming training center at the end of the road at the foot of the volcano in St. Vincent. We have been planting trees over the last 10, 15 years actively. This year, we have only planted 500 trees, which is a campaign we have done together with the Ministry of Agriculture, and that's planting of ackee trees. So besides all the challenges with the volcano, keeping it brief, I think one of my most exciting experiences this year must have been to discover the beautiful and health taste of ackee. So if you're not familiar with ackee, get your box from Jamaica in your local food store, cook up and try, put some olive oil on with salt, and you're gonna have a great experience. So I think that would be quite exciting. We are getting on the other side of the volcano eruption and challenge. We don't know when we can move back to our organic farm with silvopastoral systems. We have a big forest garden we planted more than 1,000 trees, 50 different species, but right now there's so much ash, we're not exactly sure what is there when we start to recover these parts. But we will recover, but it will take us probably about 2 years. I think that covered about it. Will be brief. So thank you very much.
Wonderful. It was great that you were able to, make it out of that hurricane. We were all so worried about you and everyone else in St. Vincent and the Grenadines, but thank you for the work that you continue to do. Over to you, Chaz.
So one of the last countries we have left to talk about is USVI, the US Virgin Islands. And from there, we will have Essence Carter, who will tell us what's happening. Over to you, Essence.
Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Essence Carter, and I am with the St. Croix tree planting team. I work with the St. Croix Foundation, and we partner with a number of organizations for this tree planting initiative. So some of the challenges that we experienced as a team, of course, was COVID and funding for the trees. But we were able to plant trees throughout the island and do tree giveaways with our farmers. We planted red fruit trees and some of the local fruit trees. And the objectives of our work was food security and climate change. Of course, the biggest challenge, of course, was COVID. But as well as I stated, the funding for the project. We did know of a few other projects happening throughout the island, and it was just trying to make that connection to get those trees to be counted as a part of this project. I think the most exciting part of the project has been being able to connect with the environmental organizations. It was really surprising to us to just find out how many programs were already happening on the ground. And this being a part of this initiative was just a great way to connect all of those dots. Currently, we have planted, 1,066 trees. We hope to have more. We're still connecting with organizations to have them counted. We also have a program and initiative that has been led by the St. Croix Foundation, where we have granted farm tiendas to a number of farmers on the island, and they have agreed to be distribution sites for additional trees this year. So thank you all for your support. It's been a pleasure working, and we're excited to continue making this happen.
Thank you, Essence, and thank you for the work that you're doing in the USVI and for being a part of our project. So we did skip over Antigua and Jamaica, but to come back, Antigua Laverne David, who was representing Antigua, wasn't able to reconnect to the call, but they were able to plant 150 trees, and they had a slowdown due to COVID as well, like many of basically everyone else. And to talk about Jamaica, I think Danielle has joined us and she can elaborate more about what's happening. Danielle?
I think Danielle has some internet connection challenges. Danielle, are you there? All right, so I think we'll have to come back to Danielle. So tell us, Charles, the tree planting ambassadors have been a big part of this. What have they been up to?
So the Tree Planting Ambassadors project started this year, and basically the project was about getting youth from around the region to promote tree planting, to promote proper planting techniques, to get people in their community to get involved with the project, to show the importance of trees and planting. And throughout the past few months, many of the ambassadors have been doing just that, getting their communities involved, trying to organize and get more people from their communities and their countries as tree planting ambassadors, and basically trying to plant trees as much as possible. But in the interest of time, we can move on to our very special announcement that we have coming up.
We absolutely have a very special announcement. We have with us the designer, owner of Alba of Denmark, Maikan. Maikan and Andrea are there, and I'd love you to just hand over to you quickly. We have this fabulous collaboration. They do sustainable clothing. We are into sustainability with our SDGs, and we think that this collaboration is something we absolutely need to do in order to bring attention to our work to the global market. And Alba has decided to join us to be here with us. Over to you, Maikan.
Hello, everyone. Thank you for inviting me today. Well, I'm the owner of a Danish sustainable children brand, which I founded like 12 years back when I got a parent myself. I am here today, and we are here as a company today because we want to help you to raise funds for your organization, to help you to fight against the climate changes that you are fighting against. But it's not only for the Caribbean, but we also see these climate changes in Europe. So this is a really worldwide serious problem. But we are not only here because we want to raise funds, but we are also here because we, as a children brand, aim to change the mindset for our kids and for future young parents. With this global partnership, we like to use our voice towards kids and young parents to raise the awareness of the climate issues. So we like to use our voice to share the importance of taking the social and sustainable responsibility. Yeah, thank you.
Wonderful. And you know, look at those shirts that they're wearing. It's called tree shirts. So we are so excited about those shirts. The design, tell us about the design.
Yes, well, the idea came after seeing a video from St. Kitts and Nevis. It was from your oldest baobab tree.
Yes.
So, yeah, this is the inspiration from that tree.
Wow. So, and tell us how we can get one of those shirts. We want all of our, everybody who's on the call to support our efforts by buying one of these shirts. Tell us how we can do that.
Actually, before we want to say that, I think Andreas, he wants to show you, because today we had the photo shoot with these tree shirts.
Okay, so, fabulous.
My private garden, we did invite kids and young people and parents to plant a tree. So today we planted our first peach melba tree. So this is just behind the scene, and this is from, can you see it now? Are you sharing it now?
Yeah.
Yeah. So these two kids are wearing the tree shirt dress. And
so All right, you're going to bring, you know, one of the things I like about this collaboration is that this is not just a company that's agreed to provide some financial support, but also to actively get involved. So, you know, to hear that you're planting the trees and, you know, you've been doing things with the kids, it's really fascinating.
Yeah.
Okay, tell us about those pictures.
So we just received the sample collection this week, and now we are preparing the photos to be able to promote the collection. And we got some really beautiful photos today. We don't have all of them in-house yet, so we just had a couple of them taken by phone, so we could show them to everyone. And yeah, we are very, very happy with the photo shoot.
Yeah.
They
had lots of joy and fun, those kids. Yeah.
Okay, wonderful.
And just
all
to
right.
answer your question, Prof, quickly, so how the shirts can be purchased. The collaboration and the shirts already available on Alba's website. So if you go to, I'm going to actually write it in the chat so everyone can just open it. And then there you can see all the models and the designs. We have 2 male, 2 lady, 2 boy, 2 girl shirts. And then we also have these very pretty t-shirt dresses for little girls. And you can purchase them as private person from the website, or if you have a company and you would like to stand up for tree planting in the Caribbean, then you can also get in touch with us. For companies, the pre-order sheets are already on the Caribbean Tree Planting Project website. So if you go to caribbeanalliance.org, there is a landing page pops up, and then you can just click on that and you will see the presentation about the collaboration and the shirt, and also the pre-order sheet, what you can just fill out. And what I just also would like to add quickly, that if you can engage with your company to order the shirt, we are able to customize these shirts, the kids shirts and the adult shirts too. We can place your logo to the sleeves. So as tree planting activities are coming up, you can wear your branded tree shirt with your employees and coworkers.
Can't wait to get my tree shirt. Thank you guys so much. We're really looking forward to this collaboration. I know that you are going to encourage your customers all over the world to purchase our shirts and to know more about the work we're doing and to bring to their attention the problems and the challenges that we do face in the Caribbean. You would have heard from Renee that there are financial challenges. So we're more than happy for your generous financial contribution to our projects through this initiative. Thank you guys so much. All right, we're gonna move quickly now to Trees That Feed Foundation. Mary and Mike McLaughlin is here, and they have been planting up a storm, not only across the region, but across the world. So we want to hear from them about their collaboration with the Caribbean Tree Planting Project. Mary?
Hi there, I'll be brief because I know we're running out of time, but I want to tell you there is something magical about this group. And the magic is that we're all here ready to help each other, to support each other, to plant trees. And really, together we're stronger. And I really believe in this. This is an international village of tree farmers, of tree planters. And Rosalie, I want to thank you, and I want to thank Andrea and Chaz for really being our leaders and the glue keeping us up together. So thank you all, and let's continue to plant trees. We're just starting.
All right, wonderful.
I will just say a few words, and so I'll echo Mary's comment. We are delighted to participate with this. We see the youth involvement, we see the regional involvement, not just each country working alone, but helping each other with donations of trees, for example. Mary asked me to give a count, so we have donated trees to 11 countries, including, you know, most of those on this phone call. Over 55,000 trees. Well, I think we were the first group that Rosalie called, thanks to the Clinton Foundation putting us together. And she said, "Can you give trees?" So we said, "All right, we'll we'll donate 20,000 trees. So that gave her car kind of a push start. Well,
absolutely.
It turned out to be a lot more. And then Mary, who is wonderful with relationships, and she has to be because she likes me. So she's good with relationships. And so I think she gave Rosalie, I think, gave you quite a few contacts for this. So that was helpful. We got so many requests as part of this program that it forced us to streamline and automate what we were doing. So we have tree requests online now. And Rosalie made us do that. So, and Andrea helped us with that as well. So we smile at Andrea. First time I'm seeing you, Andrea. Chaz held us all together. And then somebody said, the important thing, I think it was Talia from Trinidad said, it's important to keep the trees alive. So we very much believe in that. We try to work on that. We want to harvest the fruit when the trees bear fruit. And then we want to harvest the value of those fruit as well, because there's economic value as well as nutrition value, as well as environment value. So congratulations to the team. We're delighted to be part of it.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you so much. And, you know, just for you, because you're Jamaican, I have a pot cover for your, great stuff. All right, let's hold it now because we're going to do the final count. Is Daniel able to tell us what Jamaica did? Very important, Daniel. Daniel? No, we've had some other issues with Daniel. So let me share with you a summary of all the countries so that you can see. And, you know, if you can do maths very quickly, you can see the total, but I will summarize it in our next slide where we have brought together all of the numbers for you in the next slide. And this is what we've done, right? 22 countries, 300 and countries and territories, 323 partners involved, nearly 5,000 youth, 4,576 youths involved, and the grand total of, let me hear it, Chaz, what's it?
1,300,096 and 201. So a lot, way over our mark. So really good job we did.
So let's celebrate. Turn off your mics and let's get some noise.
Oh, amazing. Wow.
Well done.
Well done, everybody. Well done.
Thank you so much.
Well
this
done.
is amazing. All right, our Vice President Jenny, Dr. Jenny Ward Robinson, should have been here to wrap up. I'm not sure if she's here. If not, we'll just do a quick wrap up and to say thank you so much for being here. Jenny, are you here? All right, she could make it. This has been a really difficult project. We were doing all of this through the midst of COVID. It had been challenging. Let me hear from you, Chaz. How would you sum all of this up?
No.
Yes, it's been a long time coming. We've been thinking about this milestone since the start. You know, from the long hours in the beginning, trying to figure out what we were going to do, how we were going to pull this off till now, and getting so many new countries on board, because initially it was just 10, but now we finished with 22. So it's really good to see the partnerships, everybody working together, everybody helping each other, and us being able to reach this monumentous goal.
Yes, absolutely. And I mean, I think your leadership was amazing. You were full-time in school, had to deal with COVID. And I think the Youth Ambassador Program, the Tree Planting Ambassador Program, really created a lot of energy. We didn't have a lot of time to get into that, but it was a tremendous effort on the part of everyone involved. It brought together private sector, foundations, individuals, nonprofit organizations, and of course, government agencies. And what's the next step for us, Chaz?
So moving forward, we have two quick things I'll note. Caribbean Tree Planting Week. There is a lot of things happening in different countries. Every country will be hosting some sort of activity, and hopefully they'll be posting and sharing that in the coming days. And another important point that I would like hopefully everybody to contribute to is our petition or our letter to the CARICOM heads of state to help us to have a tree planting week recognized throughout the Caribbean. And so if you sign our petition, we're hoping to get as much names as possible from people around the region to present, to show that this is something that people want and this is something that could benefit our region and show our togetherness. So that's two of the things to look forward to.
All right, so if you support all that we're doing, just go on our website, that's Caribbean Alliance. .org, and once you go there, you'll see an opportunity to sign that letter, and the letter goes to all the heads of state of all the Caribbean territories and countries that we're engaging, and we want their support. And importantly, we want you to turn up for the Caribbean Tree Planting Week. That's going to be an exciting week of activities, and that is going to take place the second week in July. We're kicking off on the 5th of July. And we have a very special cultural celebration on July 6th, and that will be hosted by the Clinton Global Initiative. So make sure that you turn up at any one of our events during that week. And we're gonna leave you with this last word: plant some trees. So thank you all for staying with us. Thank you all for your support, and thank you all of the tree planters that made all of this possible. Thank you very much.
Thanks, everyone.
So we're going to plant some trees.
On the horizon, plant some seeds, plant it in and out of season, plant some trees, it's time to start the mission, plant some seeds, politicians don't have the answer, we change them every time, even though we make the change. We did to lost the truth. IMF is not the solution. We did to lost the truth. We need this revolution. We did to lost the truth. We control our destiny. The only solution is production and the science of self-reliance. Plant some trees. Plant some trees. Crisis on the horizon, plant some seeds, come to plant them out of seas, plant some trees, it's time to start the mission, plant some seeds, plant it in and out of season, global financial meltdown, put the whole world in a spin, these great financial wizards, see this coming. Now we know the truth, got to take it to the root. Now we know the truth, we got to grow the fruit. Now we know the truth, this wealth won't get us by. As the rain fall from the sky, without the food you die. Plant some trees, plant some trees. Christ is on the horizon, plant some seeds, Crisis on the horizon. Some seeds, not living out of season. Some trees, crisis on the horizon. Some seeds, not living out of season. Some trees, got to plant some trees.
Wonderful. You know, we didn't get a chance to talk about Jamaica's numbers, but Jamaica's contributed 400 and what was the final? It's 460,875 trees. It was the second highest trees. You did mention that, Chaz, and that was the contribution from our national department, the forestry department, Trees That Feed Foundation, Food for the Poor, and Sanders Foundation. So I thought it was important to say that before we wrap up. They did a good job, Chaz, didn't they?
Yes, they did. Very good job.
All right. Daniel had some internet challenges, and so that was the difficulty we had there. I don't know if she's still on, Danielle. She might have left.
Yeah,
okay, so and then I know, Mary, you're very proud that the Jamaicans were able to do so much.
I'm proud of everybody. I'm particularly proud of you, Andrea and Chaz. You really have kept us together. And when I started 12 years ago to plant trees, really, I felt I was alone. And you guys have come and this has just mushroomed. Look at all the young people that are in.
Yeah,
so
wonderful. Thanks again for your work, Mary.
Okay,
It's been awesome. All the best. Thank you, guys.
Okay. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye, everyone. Rosalie, are you still there? I have a question somebody asked you.